Hi, it's Kyle Meredith, and welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with an ongoing interview series presented by 91.9 WFPK in Louisville, Kentucky, and Consequence of Sound. Today, my guest is Sophie Allison of Soccer Mommy. The new record, Clean, we'll be talking about that, as well as her diary-like songwriting and getting to open up on an upcoming tour with Liz Phair. Sophie Allison of Soccer Mommy. How are you, Sophie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Pleasure to talk to you today. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course.
You've got the new record, Clean. I mean, I see everywhere that it's calling it your debut, which is only a little confusing because there are two other releases before that. How do you look at it all?
I definitely think of it as my debut. There are actually way more than that on Bandcamp. But yeah, I did have kind of two more official type records, but all of them so far have been like compilations almost. I haven't like sat down and written a full-length album. Like Collection was mostly songs off Bandcamp that just kind of were put together. And For Young Hearts was actually originally an EP that I ended up adding to. So yeah, it's all just, at this point, it's just kind of been like songs kind of thrown together into some like a release rather than a full written album.
But it must be nice having sort of that collection behind you, really going into the first record. I know a lot of artists, I don't know if you ever had plans to do this, but you know, some artists who would have that kind of that vault, you can take those later on and update those and repurpose them, you know, for an official release or something. Are there any of those songs that you could see yourself doing that in the future that you would want to?
I don't know. I feel like for now I want to try to just write new stuff, but if a song ever fit, I wouldn't have a problem with like redoing some of the old songs on my Bandcamp, because I was already pretty choosy with songs that I like worked on and uploaded. So the stuff that's up is all stuff that I like. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not against it.
I mean, either way you cut it, though, 3 releases in 3 years is impressive. And I mean, do you constantly write? Is this a great work ethic, or is it just the luck of having lots of songs, you know, lying around to compile, as you say?
I constantly write, really. Like, when I was in college, I would release, there were times when I released, 2 EPs in the span of like a month, just because I'm always writing stuff. But I think, it's definitely draining to write that much. And I think if I take longer, I can be even more choosy about which songs make it onto an album. But, I mean, you never really know how long it's going to take you to find 10 or 12 songs that you love.
Especially, you're sort of known for that diary-esque writing. I see that in all the reviews. They'll use that word and everything to mine your life so much, as you're saying, to write like that constantly. Does it ever become a challenge to figure out I've got to figure out I've already written it like that. It's got to be a different direction this time.
I don't think so. So far, it seems like every time I've finished something, I've had a direction naturally come to me for the next one. I think it just kind of follows my life pretty well. So even if I'm writing, even if I keep writing about love songs or about, the same kind of stuff that I'm known for, it's just I don't know, if it's a good song, it's a good song. I'm less worried about having a new take or a new direction and more just, writing good songs.
Well, if it's about your life as you go along, does this record carry a story? Is there a thread that kind of ties it all together?
I think it's just about feeling like you want to be something better than yourself, and trying to make that reality, and kind of realizing that you're not, that by making yourself, less emotional or less vulnerable, it's not actually bettering yourself, and it's not actually changing who you are, and you can't really run from yourself in the end.
Now, does that line of thinking go into any, when you, instead of going under your name, as an artist, Sophie Allison, to choosing sort of a moniker instead?
No, not, I mean, I guess maybe for some people it could, but for me, when I chose a moniker, it was kind of a joke, because I was just making stuff on Bandcamp for absolutely no one. And it was more of a joke on my Twitter. So, I didn't really put any thought into it, actually. It just kind of was something that stuck. But
it allows you to be lost in a character if you need to, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I think it allows you also to just separate yourself from people listening a little bit and just, say whatever you want to say.
Because I know, yes, I mean, singing in such a personal way as you do, it does sort of invite a kind of knowing from fans. At least they think that they know you,
Yeah.
you know, good or bad or weird anyway. Have you had to experience any of that yet?
Oh, definitely, for sure. Just like it can be very strange to have people think that they know you when they don't actually know you at all.
And to think these are the early days, that could only I don't want to scare you away.
I know, definitely. I've thought that many times.
When you're writing, do you ever, because of that, has it made you sort of hold back and like, you know what, I can't put that line in there? No, because I know it'll happen.
No, it never has, actually, because I've always just felt very much like, well, my stuff is, like, direct. It's also not so direct that, like, someone's going to text me and be like, this is about me. You know, I think that it's always, I throw pieces of experiences with different people into stuff. So it's not, like, I have to worry about a song directly, like, screaming one person's name or something.
There's some musical great moments all over the record, too. I sort of latch on to the end of the song Cool, when it feels like everything just goes wrong. What was how did you guys do that? What did you do that?
It was just like a time warp at the end of the track. Just we like had everything recorded and just put a warp on it. So I threw it off kilter.
I mean, it's almost a musical metaphor right there. That's what I kept thinking.
Yeah.
I know we're all still getting familiar with you, though. You know, the backstory part of the interview. Where does this all come from? When did you start writing songs that you would actually play out? I know I read something like you wrote a song at 5, but when did it really turn serious for you?
I don't know. I think that when it really turned to be like something that was seriously helping me like feel my or like express my emotions and something that people were taking an interest to, was probably right before I went to college.
Yeah, what pushed you at that point to do it?
I don't know. I just wanted to learn more about recording and stuff like that, and I just started recording my own stuff and putting it out.
Was playing it in front of people much of a leap for you?
I don't think it. No, I had been playing music in front of people for my whole life, so it wasn't that weird at all.
Was there a first, what would I say? Is there a first, like, holy shit moment? Like, this is actually working?
Maybe when I got, like, a record deal, like, when I got approached by a label for the first time, I think that was kind of like, oh, shit, like, this could be something that actually gets spread to people. And then, like, yeah, I don't know, like, recording this album was definitely, like, very exciting and felt like a serious jump.
There was a tweet you put out there that my mom is playing my entire album over the speakers in our house. Have they always been supportive of you in this?
Yes, they always have, ever since I was a little kid.
Now, and again, I'll go back to your style of songwriting. Has there ever been any of those weird, awkward, or cringeworthy moments where you're like, do I want them to hear this?
We're just not, I'm not going to talk about it with my parents. I don't really have to stress about it. I know they'll be hearing anything I say, but I'm also just kind of like, they're not going to approach me about anything if they think something's weird. So it's fine.
I don't want to make this more of a thing than it is, but it does seem like there is an underground movement happening. You know, there are artists that are doing similar thing with you. That, you know, similar type of writing. A lot of them happen to be women artists. Do you feel part of a scene right now?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I feel like part of a scene, but I definitely feel like I have like friends who are doing similar stuff and who support me and who I support. But I don't know if it's like, it's not as big of a thing to be a scene. I think there is like a underground music scene, obviously, but I don't know if I feel like super part of a community or something.
It's usually one of the things that people get grouped into long after it's over anyway, but
yeah,
it just seems like, yeah, something's in the air and something's happening. I mean, I feel like it's an important time in music because I feel like we're in a transitional period and artists like you are leading the way, you know, in this. It's what makes it really exciting. And by the way, you know, your forebears artistically, you're going to be opening up for Liz Phair, right?
Yes, I am. Pretty astounding.
Yeah, holy cow, Liz Phair. Is that something like you were pushing for? Was that a surprise? Did you get a call one day?
It was a total surprise.
How does that call happen?
Surprise. I didn't know she was doing a tour. I didn't know that I was submitted to open for it. I don't think that my agent even reached out for it because I don't think any of us really knew there was a tour happening. I just got a text from my manager saying, check your email, I'm sending over a really amazing offer. And it was like their agent inquiring about us opening on the tour.
Have you been able to talk to her yet? Is that happened?
No. I mean, she tweeted at me, but I haven't gotten to speak to her at all. I'm sure I will on the tour, though.
Well, I'm very envious and sort of doing a vicarious thing through you on this part.
Yeah.
Such a big fan of all of her music. I can understand how exciting that would be. I'll be looking to catch one of those shows, so hopefully see you out there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, totally. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you again. Love Clean. Congratulations, and thanks for giving the call today.
Yeah, thanks. Great talking to you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
That's Sophie Allison. You know her as Soccer Mommy, and thanks so much for calling in today. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to Consequence of Sound's YouTube channel to keep up with your favorite artists and interviews, and head over to WFPK.org. That's where I'm doing a show every Monday through Thursday from noon to 3 Eastern. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.